Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper 1. Welcome to Boots on the Ground. If you have anything you could offer the community, send it to southernprepper1@yahoo.com. Make sure in the title put Boots on the Ground, so make it easier for me to find. Let's get right into it. Our small business of the day is farpointflutes.com. I'll put their actual link so you can find it in the description and in the first pinned comment. But they make beautiful flutes. Carving, they have inlays they can put in them. They can make custom for you. They're absolutely beautiful plus practical. So if you have someone that likes to play an instrument, this would make a great gift. Go check them out. You probably all have seen the temperatures out west in Phoenix. It has hit 110 degrees or higher for the last 31 straight days. So they are sizzling out there. For me, are you prepared if you lose power? There's a lot of people with elderly people that need that air conditioning. Really, I need that air conditioning at that temperature. But are you prepared if the grid goes down for an extended period of time anywhere you live, if the heat is too hot for you? The Center for Disease Control said that Central Florida accounts for 81% of new leprosy cases. They state there's about 150 people get infected every year annually. A large percentage of them are in Florida. Leprosy is not a very nice disease. You can look that up. But it is very, very troubling in years past. But now we had it under control, but it's making a comeback. You've probably heard that the federal judge has voided Army Sergeant Bo Bergdahl's court-martial sentence. So I don't know if he's going to be retried. But they said there was a conflict of interest with a judge. But if you remember, he deserted his post in Afghanistan in June of 2009. Saying later that he did it to call attention to problems at his unit, the 1st Battalion 501st Parachute Infantry Regiment. He was captured and tortured and held by the Taliban for 5 years. This set off a massive search for him that involved hundreds of U.S. troops. It did result in the death of a soldier 10 years later from an injury he sustained as a result of being shot in the head. Also, I think 4 other troopers were injured. And he eventually was traded to the Taliban for 5 members. And remember the problems that has caused. So hopefully he will be retried and not just released from prison. There is a quarantine going on in Southern California. It is because of a fruit fly. TAU. TAU is the name of the fruit fly. TAU. It is a serious pest for agricultural and natural resources, according to the California Department of Food and Agriculture. So they have put a 79 square mile area under quarantine because I guess they found about 20 of these flies in that area. They believe it was introduced by a traveler that brought uninspected produce into the state. So they're trying to stop the spread of this bug. If you have any food or fruit, do not transport it out of your home area. Leave it there. It's safe to eat. If you're going to get rid of the fruit, make sure you double bag it and then dispose of it as trash. Russia authorities early Tuesday accused Kiev of yet another attack on Moscow and its surroundings with drones. So there's been numerous attacks now into the city of Moscow. I don't know what militarily benefits them. It's definitely a risk to civilians. And it's also a slap in the face to Putin, saying that he can't even keep Moscow safe. Hopefully this stops because there's no military sense to it. It's not a military target they're hitting. If you've seen that Russia Navy is going to receive 30 new warships this year. This was announced by Putin in St. Petersburg on Sunday. And this comes from the military.com. If you've been following, Russia is on a war footing. Russia's factories are pumping out massive amounts of munitions for the war. In my opinion, Russia has never been stronger in the last 20 years. This has definitely given them the ability to wage war because their industry is full speed ahead on munitions. Most of us are feeling a strain on our budget. And definitely a report July 28th said that first-time buyers need to earn it $64,500 per year to afford a home at this point. And this is actually a 13% increase from 2022. So you need to make more money to get the ability to buy a home. The average sale price for a typical starter home has reached $243,000 in June, and that's up 2.1% from a year. It's also 45% above pre-pandemic levels, say real estate brokerage. A lot of this increase is in the bigger metropolitan area. So they say that the median cost of a home in the United States rose to over $400,000. And the average mortgage rate hit 6.7% in June, up from 5.5% the year before. And before the pandemic, it was under 4%. This is a big story. I reported this story months ago because I got it from a person that actually works in the cardboard industry, and they have seen a slowdown at their work. This is the Package Corporation of America reporting that cardboard sales fell 9.8 in the second quarter, so almost a 10% hit. That's one of the biggest slumps on record when you combine it with the 12.7 drop in quarter one. So basically what that's telling you is manufacturers are ordering less cardboard for packaging. This definitely shows you that we are definitely going into a recession, or we are in a recession already. Ford Motor Company has announced that they have lost $4.5 million from its electrical vehicles this year. Massive losses for Ford. They were gambling that everyone wanted an EV or an electric vehicle, and it looks like that is not a true statement. This comes from a person that says, I just listened to your report today and heard some of mine. The report about the governor is worse than that. In this bill, it also says a landlord must rent to illegals if they have property available and someone wants it. Illegals are now considered with this law to be protected classes. And I did report this about 3 weeks ago about you had to rent. You couldn't question someone if they're in the country illegally. Part of the reason rent is getting so high is that we keep adding an endless supply of new renters looking for housing in the millions. Where we would put all these people? They also said I was driving down a local street and had to drive around 5 men walking in the street, all dressed completely in black and alike. They looked to be Mexicans in the age group of about 18 to 25. The next day on the same street, I saw them sitting on a porch of a small house, which I believe is a rental house. Yesterday I went by, and now the house is flying a flag of Mexico. The legal citizens are having this shoved in our faces. Now it starts here in my little town that there's no jobs and no extra resources. So yes, this is a problem. I personally went to the mall, the first time I've gone to a mall in probably over a decade, and I was astonished at the amount of foreign languages I heard as I walked through the mall. This person sends a report. The cheapest place in Newport, Tennessee for diesel fuel was $3.39 per gallon at 7 a.m. this morning, and that was a few days ago. Now it is up to $3.59, so it went up 20 cents, and that is the cheapest. The rest of them are close to $4.39. So fuel is going up everywhere. You've probably heard about the mysterious large company that is buying up large tracts of land in California, and this is near an Air Force base. So it's raising questions. Who's buying this land? And there's numerous places like this. It's not just one story. Large investment companies are purchasing a lot of property. And this is the Flannery Group, and they're registered as an agricultural company, and they have purchased more than 50,000 acres in this one county, according to public records. That property borders directly Travis Air Force Base. So what is the purpose of this? Some of these people say the land is really not that valuable, and they're going to take a long time to make their money back agriculturally. So a lot of questions of why all this land is being purchased. So there you go. This is some boots on the ground. If you have anything to add, send it, southernprepper1@yahoo.com. Have a great day.